Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So I'm here again, because why not, to talk to you about some books and some book recommendations. And so there is a popular video that's going around BookTube that's basically like, if you like this book, then you should read this book. So I was thinking about that, and I started jotting down a ton of ideas of book recommendations of, if you like this book, you will like this book for whatever reason. So I'm trying to kind of pick the more popular books as like my if you like this book first, and then go to maybe some maybe unknown or not as popular books, but they work in reverse. So if you haven't read one, read the other. That's all I'm saying. Read all of them. First one I want to talk about, and I've kind of talked about these two books a lot lately. Let's just not be shy about that. A lot lately, but there's a reason, because they're fantastic. So first one I want to talk about is Sundown Motel by Simone St. James, and this follows a very creepy haunted motel and a lot of mystery besides that hotel. So I'm going off of that theme. So if you enjoyed the Sundown Motel and you like that creepy motel hotel atmosphere, I highly suggest The Nightsister by Jennifer Macmahon. This follows, and it's dual timelines, or actually 3 different timelines it follows, but this follows the Tower Motel that was built in the 1950s and kind of the creepy, mysterious things that happen while it's operational in the 50s, and then into the 1980s when it is abandoned and even creepier. So if you like that creepy motel mystery piece of the Sundown Motel, read The Nightsister, and vice versa. If you like this creepy motel of The Nightsister, read Sundown Motel. Next one I want to talk about is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. It was one of the earliest Karen Slaughter books that I read, and so creepy. Not creepy, so, what's my word? So graphic and like, but good, but so good, but so good. So Pretty Girls follows our main character, and she is trying to figure out what happened to her sister. Her sister was murdered, and she's kind of investigating it on her own and trying to figure out what happened, and just stuff happens, and it's fabulous. So if you like, what is the word I'm thinking of? I can't think of the word I want to use. It's not graphic, it's gory, it's I can't think of the word, but it's intense. It is intense. And so if you liked that, I highly suggest Those Girls by Chevy Stevens. This follows 3 sisters as they are trying to stay out of their way of their father's temper. Some things happen. They end up on the run. Again, gory. That's it. Gory and creepy and thriller, and oh, it's fantastic. So if you liked Pretty Girls, you will highly suggest Those Girls by Chevy Stevens. I'm losing all of my words today. The next one I talk about is Orphan Train by Christina Baker Klein, another fantastic book, dual timelines, that tells, it's all based on a true story about the orphan train. Now this would, they would literally fill up a train full of orphans out of like the New York City area, and they would take them west, and they'd stop along the way, and people would have the opportunity to come and see these orphans and adopt them as they kind of made their way to the west. So this follows our main character, Vivian. So you have present day Vivian, who is talking to Molly. She's not related to Vivian, I don't think so. She's doing a community service project, so she's helping her clean out her attic. So you have present day Vivian talking to Molly, and Molly kind of figuring out this story of what happened to Vivian in the early 1900s and how things went as she was on the orphan train. So fabulous book based on a true story. So if you like that, I highly suggest The Home for Unwanted Girls by Joanna Goodman. Another book based on a true story. This happened in the 1950s in Quebec, Canada, where they realized that orphanages did not bring in as much money from government help as insane asylums did, and so they in Quebec, they turned a lot of orphanages into these asylums, and the orphans still lived there, but they didn't get the same treatment they did when they were in an orphanage, and they were treated they were treated horribly. So this follows the story of one of the girls that had some experience with one of those orphanages. Fantastic, and I loved it. It's great. So if you love the Orphan Train, you'll love the Home for Unwanted Girls, and you will go down a very crazy rabbit hole when you're done reading it, because you're like, you cannot believe this happened. This also has one of the most villainous characters I have ever read in a book, and she is a nun. I will never forget that character. Oh my gosh, she was brutal. My next suggestion I have is, if you love Harry Potter and you love escaping into that magical world where you're learning about all of these new adventures and these new things that are out there, I highly, highly suggest Nevermore. This is the Trials of Morgan Crowe. The stories themselves are totally different. Harry is a wizard, Morgan is not, but you follow these, and they're both 10 or 11 when this happens, and you just follow these adventures of these kids leaving home and going and learning about this whole new world that's out there that they knew nothing about before, and you are completely immersed in these new characters and this new world and this new magic system that's out there. They're phenomenal. So if you loved Harry Potter, I highly suggest Nevermore. My last suggestion I have for you is if you've read Stillhouse Lake, of course I can't think of the author, I need to be more prepared next time. If you've read Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane, I believe it is, but I'll have a picture. That follows a woman and her children, and I'm not giving anything away. This all happens in the very beginning. She's coming home with her kids, and she discovers there's police at her house, and her husband is a serial killer, and he's been killing and torturing women in their garage for years, and she knew nothing of it. So because of this, she's kind of forced to go live on the run, and things happen, and it's fantastic. If you liked that, and you like that aspect of not knowing who you're living with and what happened, I highly suggest The Marsh King's Daughter by Diane. This follows Helena. She has a wonderful, wonderful life until she reveals that she is the product of a kidnapping. So her dad kidnapped her mom, held her hostage, and she was the product of it, and then where it goes from there. So again, fabulous book. I don't think it's well known. It gives me Stillhouse Lake vibes, definitely. It's short, it's packed full of mystery and twists and thriller vibes. It's wonderful. So highly, highly suggest picking that up. So I think that's a good place to start. I could keep going, and maybe I'll make a part 2, and Stormy is shaking the table as always. But let me know if any of these catch your eye. Let me know if you have other suggestions based upon these books, if you liked some of these books, if I should pick up other ones. Leave comments below. Let's chat about books. Otherwise, like, subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.